We are celebrating Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month by highlighting the community's culture and history and contributions.
Absolutely. And this morning, we're going to learn about America's first Vietnamese American general.
And guess what? I have the privilege of welcoming Susan Lee officially to the couch.
All right, great to be back, guys. And this morning we talk about service and surviving in this latest Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander profile. This is the first Vietnam-born general, and he says he knew he wanted to join the U.S. Army after being rescued by U.S. forces from Saigon in 1975. After escaping Saigon under a hail of bullets and bombs nearly 50 years ago, Viet Xuan Nguyen would go on to become the U.S. Army's first Vietnamese-born general. His need to serve shaped by vivid memories of heroic U.S. military rescues in the final days of the Vietnam War.
Suddenly, all hell broke loose. We started to receive artillery, followed by mortars, and several people close by were hit by shrapnel.
As the city of Saigon fell, Viet's family were some of the lucky ones who sailed away to refugee camps in the Pacific Rim before arriving in Arkansas and settling in Los Angeles.
Growing up in a poor Asian family, right? So I tell folks all the time, hey, we didn't have all of these material things, but, you know, we were free.
The Luong family was living out a familiar immigrant tale of sacrifice and starting over. They never went on vacation. Viet's parents worked 7 days a week. His father picked up double shifts as a security officer.
You know, to mitigate having time with Dad, I used to go to work with him, you know, and a lot of time just sleeping on someone's carpet, right? But many years later, I would say that I would not give that back for anything, and those were some of the best times of my life.
Following through on his boyhood promises to serve his adopted country, Viet enlisted in the Army after college. You were quoted as saying that you could see in your peers that they were given opportunities and mentorship that you didn't necessarily receive.
I think I was one of maybe 3 Asian Americans in a class of 200. I was smaller than most of my peers, but again, it's through determination. I'm a very aggressive and competitive individual.
Rising through the ranks, Luong served 34 years in the Army, leading troops in Iraq, deadly combat missions in Afghanistan, and long tours of duty in Kosovo and Bosnia. The highly decorated soldier received numerous awards, including the Bronze Star and Legion of Merit. Just culturally, coming from an Asian background, you know that society tells you to put your head down, to not be trouble, don't cause any waves. Do you think that helped or hurt you when you joined the Army?
I think it actually hurts us. Not to make waves, not to say anything, but we're Americans first. Not to brag about our contributions, but to be able to accentuate all the things that we have done.
Somebody, you know, who's proud of being a Vietnamese, you know, came to this country on a U.S. aircraft carrier. And sense of you know, being a real son of his people that I just think is unique.
Perhaps it was always destined, but Viet's career pinnacle would come full circle to meet the 9-year-old boy escaping war and death on board the USS Hancock, cutting across the Pacific 43 years earlier. Luong was promoted to Major General in 2018 and assumed command of U.S. forces in Japan. So why are you opening up now? Do you feel that you need to lead by example?
There's a requirement to be able to advocate, to mentor, to send a positive message. Our country is very divisive right now. I want to help solve issues.
And when I asked him for a message to the Asian American youth in the country, he says that people have to believe in America. We're not loyal to any political parties, but we should be loyal to the Constitution.
What a story.
Yeah,
incredible.
That's right. On the deck of the U.S. air carrier, taking him away from the fall of Saigon in
because
1975.
they had to get his family out because of what his dad did. Otherwise, they would have wound up.
Executive officer in the South Vietnamese Army fighting along U.S. forces, and they knew they weren't going to win that war.
He's always grateful to our troops.
Let's hope the Afghanis merge in as when they got rescued like the Vietnamese did.
To provide service to this country because of just how grateful you are to be rescued during those dismal times. Yes, that's a fantastic story.
Susan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great report, great profile.
I know Stuart Varney's jealous. You're on our show. All right, thank you, Susan.